Hey everybody, it's your man Type coming to you with another true spook story. Now, before I begin, I'm gonna ask that you hit that like button. I'm gonna beg and request and just say, please share me, subscribe to this channel. I'm putting these things out every week, people, and trust me, it's on the schedule. I just want to go viral with these things and just do the right thing by me, man. I love telling y'all this and sharing, but I just think I could be a little bit bigger. So maybe it's my ego, or maybe it's just me knowing that I'm an artist, or I'm just sharing my heart with you guys and my childhood, and I just want to be appreciated a little bit more for it. But people get me out there. I mean, I really want to branch off into doing this full time and podcasting with it, but enough further ado. That's just me and my feelings. All right, so this story is gonna take place within the Orlando, Florida area, where I grew up. And it's gonna be about a lady. Now, I think it's the whole family, if I'm not mistaken, what grandma used to say. But as the story developed, I know for a fact all the characters are coming to play. But I do remember this one lady. She was about 35 at the time. So I was about like 17, 18. No, yeah, like 16, 17. I left home when I was 15 years old, went out there, joined the gang and shit. And I was out there banging for about 1 year. Then I came back home, trying to be a kid, go back to school, get my life right. Jesus, 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 Jesus. And then my grandma stepped in and she just was like, I know this Jesus lifestyle ain't for you. And she said, he's for a purpose, but he's not for the purpose of a salvation. She was educating me on that energy so I wouldn't feel guilty or sad for having feelings of lust, desire, wanting to fuck a bitch up. She said that you get in them feelings and you love on them and you experience them, and then you can be free. So that's just off the topic. But when it came down to this lady, again, she had to be like 35. I was jitterbug energy. And so every time we would have a cookout, we would party, anything. Everybody who brought food in the community, like a potluck thing, everybody who brought their dishes and set it up in the back field over there by the basketball court in the office, because it was a field over there. So so when in the Abilene projects, everybody would get together around by the third, fifth of the month after everybody done got their food stamps and they got a little money to spare. Some people would make cornbread, some people would make, macaroni and cheese, various kinds. Some were good, some were just, oh, Jesus Christ, why did you do that? But yeah, it was everybody would just make their own pots of greens and shit. And everybody would just go out there, man, and just celebrate. They would have a bounce house, they would have water balloons. I mean, we had fun in the projects where we grew up at. It was a pretty decent project. So there was one neighbor. She lived, if I'm not mistaken, she lived in like 4237. She lived in the building in apartment 4237. I think this is around by like the fourth or the fifth cluster. So everybody was out there bringing food, chilling, energy good, music playing, the liquor on tap, the drunks out there dancing and playing with the kids, throwing baseballs and shit, football, flag football day. But everybody would cook. And and this person was always the last one to bring her dish the party, to the party. Now, everybody was like, man, y'all get out here, eat and get full. They had started the shit like 10 o'clock in the morning, and by 1 o'clock that afternoon, bitches been done 8. Then it's, kids been done 8. Then it's just the old folks throwing something on the grills and shit. And then, we done ran off or did some other shit, got distracted. Well, they never allowed this woman food to sit up there on the table with all the other food while the kids was out there playing. Like if the kids was haven't eaten yet, her dish never made it to the table. And I always wondered why, Mrs. Kelly dish didn't make it to the table. Now, before I go a little bit further with this, I want to tell you a little bit about Miss Kelly. Now, Miss Kelly, she wasn't a nasty woman. It just her energy was bitter, stank, and rank. And she got like 3 kids, mainly a little girl. And the little girl was the identical bitch energy of her mama. Now, I never seen the daddy, but the boys, they were just nasty. They didn't wear underwear. I mean, they just didn't wear socks and shit. They just put on shoes and pants and a shirt and run out the door. And they were just bullies in the neighborhood, you know. But the mama, she just had that real bitch energy. When you came around, nothing was right. She was so unpositive, and it was just when you see her, you wrinkle your face up. You will see her walking up the road, you'll wrinkle your face up and be like, "Damn, there go that bitch." Like, and there, so that's just a little bit. So while everybody in the community laughing, having a good time, Miss Kelly was just like, you'll see her walking up the road with her little plate and her little two boys bringing their own little TG Lee juices. You can see her. She always brought that red TG Lee juice that tastes like poison. And she would bring that shit in. You know, everybody will see her, they were like, make sure them kids done ate now. They go, Kelly, make sure them kids don't ate. And everybody would be like, y'all got y'all plate? Y'all got y'all plate? And, you know, everybody get their plate. The kids get their plate, and they like, y'all gone now, y'all go around the corner, go eat, y'all go play. So we'll have a plate, we'll pack up a plate to go and shit, you know, take it back to the house, barbecue chicken style, you know. But when Miss Kelly came and she put her food on the table, it seemed like none of the adults wanted to eat. Like, nobody wanted to eat. And if you was a kid and Miss Kelly put that plate on that table before you got your food, your parent didn't let you eat. You either gonna eat off their plate, or y'all gonna have to split some off everybody's plate around, or you gonna have to catch a bologna sandwich later that night. So you better be your ass in place. So Miss Kelly came and she put her food on the table. I was there helping grandmama, because grandma was around there like watching the table. Her and about 2-3 other old ladies, they got there playing spades on one side. Yeah, they were playing spades next to the food table and shit. And they watch the food, keep the flies off of it, you know, remove the mesh net so that, you know, people can eat. So I'm down there helping grandmama and shit. So Miss Kelly comes, she drop her plate on the table. She had like two little things, two little glass dishes with aluminum foil over. And she put them up there on the table, and I seen my grandma roll her eyes at Miss Emma. And she looked at me, cut her eyes to the right, looked at Miss Emma and like, look at that bitch. And so I'm like, you know, I'm paying attention, because one, I'm sitting down on the ground trying to look up all the old ladies' dresses, because they weren't old to me, you know, they was, but you know, I'm 16, 17, 18, bitch. I'm in my little sexual phase. I'm trying to see puss no matter how it's coming. And I'm banging too. It was that time. So I'm, you know, feeding them drinks, sitting around, sitting on the little crates and shit, hanging out with grandmama. So Miss Kelly come and put her plate on the table. And all of a sudden, everybody got quiet and they started, And the old ladies had a song they used to sing. Well, you know, in Jacob's ladder, things are happening. The flies are blowing, the mice are chewing, but this shit ain't gonna happen me. And they would like say, look, they would like put some shit, but if you smart, you can recognize the story, you know, the old Negro spiritual style energy that they were just saying, like, the lady had rats in her house, the lady was dirty, or the food would make them sick and poison. And the lady, Miss Kelly, she would lay down the plate, and she would, and because they had did this so long, she would join in, and she would be like, and she'd sing a high note, and all the bad shit in the world can't stick to me. I let it run off and fall on the ground, cause I'm that baby. She'll say some shit like that, but all the while her whole thing would be like, nothing bad will ever stick to her. And you know, Miss Emma and Grandma, they'll look at each other and they'll laugh, then they'll include her in the laugh and shit. So I picked up on it, cause you know, old Negro spiritual over here, I picked up on it. So I said, Grandmama, cause keep in mind I had left and I had came back, so I knew of Miss Kelly, but I ain't know the extent not to fucking eat what she cooked. So Grandmama, I say, damn, she made some potato salad. Grandma said, so I said, let me get a cup and put some in there. You know, I could go get a plastic Solo cup, throw that bitch in there and walk off and eat. Grandma said, what? And I went to get a solo cup. Grandma got up and Grandma slapped me. Then Miss Emma knocked the cup out my hand. So I'm like, whoa, what's going on? You know, because, Bill, by this time, I'm sick of not being able to eat shit. I'm sick of all these nasty ass people in the hood doing this shit, these nasty women and shit, putting shit in their food. Bitch, I'm hungry. I ain't magic fry clothes, it's a holiday. I'm hungry. And they not, I say, what? Nah, I say, what this motherfucker got going on, Grandma? And she's like, just don't eat that. I said, why? She said, you know that bitch got so much negative energy around her. Her kids dirty and stink. And you see that little bitch girl over there, hers? She got the same fucking energy as her mama, just nasty. You can tell she gonna grow up to be a nasty bitch. That whole ruined everything. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, and Miss Emma chime in. She like, Gunji, you know that lady came to my house and all my groceries spoiled? I want you guys to remember this shit. Now, here we go. I had just came from Star Meat and I had bought so much meat and I put it in the refrigerator. I know Star Meat make fresh meat and I put it in the refrigerator. No, she said the Frigidaire. And as soon as I go out there to cook me some tonight, the meat's bad. And I was asking everybody, did they leave the meat on the table? And Grandma said, no, you know you put your meat up. You've been cooking and grocery shopping for over 30, 40, 50 years. You know if some shit done spoiled. She said, yes, that bitch energy came around and spoiled your food. And Miss Emma like, must have been, had to be. So, and Grandma said, you know what you need to do? Not let the bitch come to your house. Why you had her there in the first place? Well, she just wanted to stop by and speak. And I say, have that hoe speak at the gate. Don't let her cross your threshold. And they just were like laughing at it. They said all this shit with the lady about 12 feet away from her, but they was, you know, speaking in code. And I know the code, I'm not gonna describe that. It was like Tutton or Geechee language. But I don't think Miss Kelly was Geechee. But I understood it because I could understand the Geechee language. Man, so I'm like, damn. So now, keep in mind, Miss Kelly goes to people's house, eat, hang out, and all your food will go bad in your refrigerator. Your canned goods or something, or you go in there and look up, you know, cans been swelled and about to bust. I mean, this shit is real life, man. So I say, okay, Grandma, I'm not gonna eat the potato salad. Miss Emma like, don't you do it, boy. So, you know, I say, okay, well, can I at least get I said, she brought some Czech sodas, man. Can I at least get a Czech soda? They say, I wouldn't trust putting your lips on that. So I said, fuck it. So all her food set up there. And so they wouldn't make her feel too shitty. So they had designated men in the community, that would come and scoop some food out of her plate and shit and put it down and they'll make it look like they ate some of it, but they'll scoop it out, and when she described it, they'll walk in the house and throw it in the trash or some shit. But just to make her feel like part of the community. But everybody in the community know that once she came around to where some food was, the food went bad. Now I'm gonna stop it right there, people, because I want you guys to really understand what I'm trying to say, because there are some people around you, and you gotta know this shit. Now, Grandma gave us the backstory of Miss Kelly, like why Miss Kelly was like this. Keep in mind, she was 35 years old, people. She a young lady. And she was like, well, because I asked Grandma, what's going on? Because, she's 35 and she had a shape. Your boy getting ready to turn 17. I'm thinking, man, I may have a chance with the bitch. But Grandma like, don't you go there. It is what it is. So I say, Grandma, why? I say, why everybody treat Miss Kelly like that? I say, granted, her kids is shitty. I mean, the daughter is just horrible. I say, I understand, but she just got a fucked up attitude, Grandma. I say, why y'all treat her like that? And Grandma was like, well, let me tell you about that bitch. Say, she killed her husband with some food. I said, what you mean she killed her husband with some food? She said, that bitch was married. That bitch got married at 22. I say, oh, okay. I say, how she killed him, Grandma? With food, At that time, poisoning wasn't in my mind. She said, that whole grind up some fish bones? Say she chopped them fish bones up on that paper towel. And she put it inside her potato salad and inside her macaroni. So as he swallowed, over the years, that shit was getting clogged up in his lungs and clogged up in his throat. And one day that man ate that food. We was at a cookout and that man ate that food. He passed away. I say, what? Say the doctor say he got choked on a fish bone. Now how the fuck he choke on a fish bone when we ain't had no fish? We was eating potato salad, collard greens and shit. Soul food. And I say, Grandma, that don't make sense, but why don't y'all like her food? Why can't nobody eat her food? Grandma slapped me in the back of the head. Didn't I just tell you to put shit in the food to kill you? I say, why would she kill the community? And I'm asking Grandma this shit. Why the fuck the bitch gonna kill the community, Grandma? And she say, didn't I tell you? I say, what's the significance of a goddamn fish bone in food? She said, let me tell you, shit. I said, okay. So it wasn't just fish bones in the food she would put up there. She would go and get what we call mullet. These are bottom feeders, right? I don't know if y'all call them mullet, now perch, whatever. She would go get mullet, now perch. These are just the two fish I know for a fact that you can use. She would skin the fish and she would take the bones, like debone the motherfucking fish. She would let the fish bone kind of dry up a little bit, like let it sit overnight so it could dry up. Then she would take it, she would chop it up, and she would put the fish bones like in the food dish. If I'm not mistaken, she set it on this altar because she was into magic too. She had an altar dedicated. I don't want to disrespect the deity, because this is hearsay. She say so. I ain't gonna say the deity name. Now I let that one go. But she used to set the fish bone on the altar, and it was just like a spell to like make them love her food. And she would set her herbs on the altar she was gonna use. All her shit that she cooked with went on altars. And in some cases that can be a good thing, but when you cooking for a community and you got your own private altar with your own shit, you don't do that. Grandma always told me that. But her basil, her sage, all that shit would be sitting on an altar. And Grandma, like, she would cook with that. But I know this thing, it was the now perch, either the mullet, because mullet always tastes like burnt rubber to me when I was growing up, so I couldn't eat it. And Grandma said she would sit that shit up there and let that fish bone go overnight. Then she would chop up the fish bone, put it in the macaroni and cheese, and feed it to that man. Put it in that potato salad. And I'm looking like, bitch, I just was finna get a big ass scoop of this potato salad, because I like potato salad. Man, Grandma said she killed that man. So people, I'm finna stop it right there and I'm finna explain something to you. They go to spell in detail. So for y'all women out there who wanna kill your peoples, here you go. I hope you don't do it. You're gonna take now perch, mullet bone. You gotta fillet the fish properly now. It can't be head chopped off. You gotta go directly down and leave the head like in the cartoons, where they eat all the skin and you just see the head of the fish and the tail of the fish, but the spine and the bone right there. You're gonna strip all the flesh off of that shit down. Now you don't eat the fish, you don't eat the meat. Now that shit goes in the trash or give it to a cat or something. You lay that up there on the altar. It sit there overnight, whatever, however long she wanted to sit there. Then you take that fish bone and the head and then you boil it, like make fish stock out of it. After you done rehydrated, the bones are a little soft and tender. You chop them up a little bit right there. I'm telling you how Grandma say you grind them up or you turn them into powder and you blend it, however. Then you're gonna mix that with your macaroni and cheese. You're gonna mix that with your potato salad and mayonnaise, so it'll blend in and the taste won't be there. Or when you make the beef stock, you pour it over your rice and shit. And this is the shit that you will feed your mate. Feeding your mate this right here guarantees that this person is always gonna come home and eat your food or always gonna come home. But she didn't do it properly. She was chopping it up with a knife and shit, like trying to get it finely chopped, and she didn't put it in a blender. So the shit kept getting stuck in the man's throat and the bone wasn't breaking down properly in his throat, digestive system, however. But that was the spell. So I ain't gonna go into more detail, maybe in a recap. So Grandma said the bitch was hexing him to keep the man home or to keep him like in line. And she kept doing the shit and she kept doing the spell every week. Every time she cooked, she would do the spell. You don't do no shit like that every week. If you're trying to keep your boo thing, you're gonna keep your boo thing, once or twice. Everybody done got stupid, burn a candle here and there. But she was feeding this man this shit on a daily basis, so it was clogging up his throat, clogging up his arteries. And she say, that hoe like a black widow. Why you think none of the dope boys want to fuck her? Now you think none of the old men don't come knock on her door? And if somebody is trimming her, they come late night, get the pussy and go. They don't sit up there and eat from this bitch. I say, oh. I say, but grandma, she got kids. I say, why the kids ain't dying? She said she never fed them kids what she fed that man. She cook a separate meal for them. I said, oh. I say, the nigga never got washed. She said, nope. Nah, that bitch passed away. He did. I said, okay, I'll never eat from the hoe. Nah, back to the story. Now, as she bring her plate every time we have a community cookout, hang out and shit, now I'm paying attention because we had another one like the very next week. So now I'm paying attention. Again, they made all the kids get their food first because she always came walking up the road with a fat ass booty, not fat girl, but fat booty, wobbling and shit, walking up the motherfucker around by 12:30, 1 o'clock. The kids been at 8 by then. And then she put it on the table. Everybody sit up there and sing their song, playing spades or Tonka or whatever. And none of the kids got to eat her food. None of the male kids, at least, I guess. I don't know, but I don't think they let nobody eat it. So I'm paying attention now, because now I'm still up on the grandma now. I'm paying attention. And nobody would eat this woman's food. Now, the men, they would go get some, and they'll thank her, and they'll go in the house and throw it away. So Miss Emma and grandma, they still sitting up there. So I'm like, damn, that's fucked up. So now let me get into the part where my mama and this shit really affect grandma and me. So grandma say, hey, Kelly, come over here and can you do my Jerry curls? Because evidently she knew how to do curls, put activator and booster and shit, the little yellow bottle with the red writing. She knew how to roll motherfuckers and do some Jerry curl. So, okay. So mama, us, we had just came from Table Supply, and we had Table Supply, they turned into Winn-Dixie off Colonial and John Young. So we came over there, and we had just went shopping, got some food, sodas, spaghetti, stuff to make, meals. So Kelly come over and she doing my mama hair. She sitting in the living room, my mama at the kitchen table, so she standing up, rolling my mama hair. They watching, daytime television and shit. So I come in, from over grandma's house, and I'm like, Mom, I can cook? She said, go in there and cook you some, boy. I say, thank you. So I go in there, I get the bag of rice, throw some water in it, rinse the rice off. I'm finna eat some rice, and I'm finna make some rice and some corned beef hash. Now, corned beef hash come out of a can, people. Ain't no motherfucking way that shit's supposed to spoil when we just went to the stove the very next day. So I put the rice up there, rinse it all, put it on the boil. So I get the can of corned beef hash. I say, Mama, why is this can fat? And she like, what you mean it's fat? She said, I got the big can. I said, no, it's like finna bust on me like biscuits. And she like, let me see. So I brought it in there. People, when I brought that thing in there, and I like reached, because Miss Kelly, she had a really big butt. So if I would have walked past, I would have, brushed my cock up against her. So I wasn't trying to disrespect the old lady, especially after what grandma said. So, baby. So I hand it to Miss Kelly, and she showed it to my mama. She like, Pat, this shit is crazy. Why this can go like this? So mama said, just throw it away. Throw it away. Don't eat that. It's rotten. It gonna bust in your stomach. They were saying shit like. So I go in there. So now I'm like, okay, let me get something else. I'm looking at the tuna. I'm looking at the motherfucking canned chicken. I say, Mama, all your cans like bloated, baby. And she like, what? So everybody jump up. Even Miss Kelly, she go in the kitchen. She looking around. So I open the refrigerator. It's like the refrigerator like died, and the meat starts spoiling. So she like, boy, clean my kitchen out, clean that shit out. So I went to the pantry, over there where the washing machine at, went to the pantry, and the potatoes had rotten. All that shit had just went bad on us, and we like, what the fuck going on? So, I'm sitting up there cleaning out like $400-500 worth of groceries. So grandma get off work, and she come around there to see us, because every time she got off work at Royal Plaza, she would always come around there and see us and say hey to the kids and, stop to talk to my mom or whatever. She check on us. Man, I said, Grandma, I said, Miss Kelly was over here. And she like, what that bitch doing in this house? I said, she gave mama some Jerry curls. And she like, Pat, you let that bitch in your house? Like, Mama, she did Jerry curls. 24 karat ain't here no more. He out of town. So I need her. And And she was like, oh my God, didn't I tell y'all the bitch killed people with food? And like she wasn't cooking. I said, Grandma, all mama food bad. I just had to walk to the dumpster. I couldn't put no meat in our kitchen garbage. And she was like, see there, the bitch cost you money. So Grandma decided to go down there and talk to this sister, Miss Kelly. She was like, Kelly, I know what you did. And you know me, I'm always gonna rock with Grandma. I done put a little butcher knife in my pocket in case her son them come out that bitch. I'm finna go to hacking and slacking on they motherfucking ass. Don't fuck with Grandma. She's like, I know what you did to your husband. I know you've been using mullet bones. It was mullet, people. There you go. Not now perch mullet. She said, I know you've been using mullet bone to kill him. Say you were trying to keep him home and keep him thinking about you, using that mullet spell. She said, but one thing about that spell, that bitch is supposed to be done only one time a year. You were feeding that man that shit all day long, and now you killed your husband, and now you're just a poison food bitch. Now, I don't ever want you to come down to my daughter's house. I don't want you to fuck with none of my son or you bitch, and you better not bring no more food to the cookout. The only thing you're responsible for, bitch, is soda and plates. And she was like, fuck you, a gun Jew. And she's like, say what the fuck you want, but I'll make your life hell in this community. And they just got into their little beefing, so their son sitting out there with a trash can lid. And so when he saw me, I pulled out a knife and put it beside my side. I'm like, bitch, you better let these adults talk. Nigga, that's grandmama. And me and him stand each other. It was me and her three kids, a girl and the boy. We stand each other down like, bitch, it's gonna be real now. You let these two old ladies talk and stay your place, nigga, cause I'm coming at you. You fuck with grandma. So she cursed Grandma, said all kind of fuck shit, whoop whoop. Grandma walk away, and she say, I told you, do not bring no more food to that cookout, or I'm gonna make this community hate you. Well, what the fuck she do? So next Sunday, we sitting out there, we have a cookout, music playing. She come in, here she go, walking up the road with that macaroni and cheese and potato salad. Grandma say, didn't I tell that bitch? Now, Miss Emma at the time was like, Gunju, calm down, we'll just tell her to take it away. Grandma say, that hoe defied me. And I told her I know what she did. So this time she didn't carry the plate. She had her daughter carry the plate. Here we go, people. She had her daughter carry the plate. So when her daughter came up there and her daughter laid the food on the table, people, I kid you fucking not. Her daughter laid the food on the table. The kids had already ate. Everything started going bad. Flies started blowing around the food. It's like everything started going to bad. The barbecue that was already off the grill, like, it just didn't taste right to people. They were like, what's going on with this shit? Why the food got so old so quick? Did you overcook it? They were saying everything, and like the macaroni and cheese that other people made, the collard greens that other people made, the shit went rotten instantly. And Grandma say, see, I told y'all. And that's when Grandma stood up. And Grandma say, you and this little bitch is cursed. Nobody should ever eat from your fucking hand. And Grandma went along and told the whole spiel to the whole community. You were using mullet bones, and you killed your motherfucking husband, feeding him that shit every night and every day, trying to keep the man. And she just went off, people. And Miss Emma, she jumped up, and she started agreeing with Grandmama. And then Miss Ann started agreeing with Grandmama. So all the whole community, you know, we kids, we just think these just old people fighting, throwing ketchup bottles and shit. And her daughter was right there. So now, her daughter want to be a cook, but her daughter had the same fucked up attitude, like nasty or hurt you, do anything to spite you energy. So we in the bitch like, man, we can't fuck with them. Me and my family like, man, damn, the little hoe fine. We can't get her. Cause her mama killing bitches, like killing dudes. And we laughing and joking and shit all. But them old ladies was real serious. So then Grandma say, baby, come here. So she told her daughter to come here. And I kid you not, Grandma had stood up on a chair. And when Grandma stood up on the chair, Grandma took some Hennessy, she took some ice, and she took some salt. She told that baby, come here. She shucked that salt shaker all over that baby head. And she just jumped down and she poured the Hennessy on top of the little girl head, and she was rubbing the little girl head with Hennessy and salt. Fucked up that little girl hair. And she was just right. She said, let's get this nasty shit off of you. We gotta get this spirit drunk so it don't even fucking know how to fucking stick to you, cause your mama a nasty old hanked bitch, janky hoe. And the girl was like, thank you. So now, after grandma did that, then Miss Emma touched her, Miss Ann touched her, Miss Carol touched her, Miss Ida Mae touched her. Everybody came and touched Miss Kelly's daughter, and they were rubbing hands, but they kept rubbing the Hennessy and licking salt all down. Then the dude that was on the grill, he got another bottle of Hennessy, and he was pouring it on top of her head, you know, like, and they were just brushing her with liquor. Then they made that girl drink. They tell you, take a shot of this. And they made her take a shot. Let me tell you, people, after that little girl went home, got in the shower, we didn't see her for 2 days. When that girl came out, she smelled different, she looked different, she just felt different. And she was happier, you know, like a happy drunk. And grandma told her, you're gonna have to keep that spirit drunk on you. She said, baby, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to take a shot of liquor, shot of wine every other day. You're gonna have to do this to fix this. Because what your mama put inside of you, how she cursed you, it is wrong. And it's gonna stick with you. So Miss Kelly was like, so if you know the shit on me, why y'all ain't do that? Why y'all? And grandma said, you killed that man. Bitch, you don't get rewarded for killing nobody. You sit with that shit. You sit with it, ho. And everybody like, just, yeah, you sit with it. You should have killed that man. That was a good man and all that shit there. I was just trying what I learned as a kid. Say, you didn't learn that shit. You just overheard. She said, you ain't learned that shit. You just overheard what the elder was saying and you did it wrong. And then the daughter like, you killed my daddy? The 3 boys, you killed my daddy? They was talking that type of shit. So nah, they mad at their mama. Nah, that was just the drama. Well, the lady, you know, on holidays, you know, everybody come home to mama to cook and eat on holidays and shit. That lady never cooked again. She always did order takeout, pizza. She still retained her shape and shit. Because, you know, she still, you know, they had no car, so she had to walk in, catch the city bus, whatever. But yeah, man, nobody would eat from that woman ever in the hood. I don't know. I grew up and left home and in the projects, I don't know if she's still there. I don't know. I know her kids, they probably start wearing underwear right about now and clean. But I know that little girl, nobody know what happened to these people like that. I don't know no more. But that little girl became the avid drunk. And if you go up there to the store, and I'm finna tell you, because this is the only way to keep it. So she don't have a bad life, but she's a drunken woman. And I don't think she's a drunken woman because my grandma told her to keep that spirit drunk. But she's a drunkard little girl, fine little dark skin thing. But so if you go down Ivy Lane Road, and you go on Ivy Lane Road, and as soon as you pass Poke and Bean Projects, coming from Old Winter Garden Road, and you go up and you look to your right, you'll see a corner store. And you'll see like a corner store connected to a laundromat. You will see a bunch of men over there getting drunk under a tree. You'll see a bunch of lounge chairs and shit, stools. And you'll see 2 little girls, well, 2 grown-ass women now. One of them real dark-skinned and fine. The other one light-skinned and pretty fine. But these young girls, if I'm in my mid-40s, they gotta be younger than me by, 6, 7 years. These girls are out there out drinking grown-ass men to the point where they'll sit up there under the tree and pee on themselves because they don't even want to go home and use the bathroom. So they must live somewhere around there still. And that drunken spirit is in them girls because they got to keep that shit down. If not, they'll come the harbingers of death and they'll ruin people's food stocks. And they got to stay drunk in order to participate in society, people. And I don't know if this story is scary. I'm just telling you just what the fuck happened. But yeah, they gotta stay drunk in order to participate in society. And I'm gonna leave it right there. We'll talk about it a little more in the recap. Maybe y'all could help me with this. I'm just telling you exactly what the fuck went on, man. And them girls right there drunk, I'm gonna try to pass by it, like doing the recap and see can I like pull up in the store parking lot and do a creep pick. But yeah, they sisters, the mama gotta be around. She gotta be somewhere on Ivy Lane Road in the project still, I don't know. But yeah, man, that shit is really rough, it's bad. And them girls gotta stay drunk. And I'm saying that to say this. You know people that get up and they drink themselves to death, maybe they drinking to keep that spirit inside of them, that demon inside of them at bay. Because if they was in their sober mind, that thing would come out and have them doing dumb shit, hurting people, killing people, fucking up other people's lives and food and livestock and shit. And again, I don't know if this would scare people. I'm just telling you what the fuck went on. And I'm sharing these stories. It was spooky as fuck to me, because if you kill a nigga with a fish bone, and that's how many times people die from fish bone, they eat bread. And let's say these husband and wives, these people that cook your meals and shit, let's say they really trying to offer you. And let's say putting fish bones inside the stuff like the woman did, then blend them up or then turn them into fish stock or shit, because that's the way you cook shit nowadays. Let's say that's a spell from the South that these bitches done got wrong. Grandma knew the spell. Grandma said you don't sit up there and chop the bones, you put it in stock after they sit on. Grandma told I sit on the altar. Let's say these people been murdering their husband and their wives over time, people choking on fish bones when they and shit like that. Let's say that shit was like just sacrificial. I mean, it's something to think about. That's why nobody can cook no fish for me. I cook my own fish. That's what it is. All right, everybody, I'm tight. Telling you guys, man, be careful what you eat on, because some shit bite back, baby. Take care, y'all. Be good. See you in the recap.